All right. Well, we're a couple minutes after the hour here. Let's get started. So welcome everyone to one of our first episodes of the Uplink of 2022. I realized that we had one a few weeks ago that I didn't actually end up hosting, but excited to get this webinar going for the new year. So I'm Jacob Swan. I'm the product marketing manager with Helium. I'm here today with Marco from Techtenna, and he's going to talk about oh man, everything that Techtenna does. I saw a preview of his presentation yesterday, and there's a lot of really cool info. But basically, Techtenna guarantees connection and simplifies end-to-end IoT solutions for a variety of different verticals that Marco is going to talk about a little bit. So very excited for this. Whoops. Quick agenda here. I did my intro a little bit already. I'm going to talk a little bit about Helium, give some highlights. Like I said, this is one of the first episodes of 2022, so I'd like to share some major things that happened in 2021 and kind of what we're looking ahead to in 2022. And then I'm going to turn it over to Marco. He's going to intro himself and kind of tell the Techtenna story, give some demos. And then at the end, we'll do a little Q&A. Just remember, for time's sake, if you don't get your question, if you have a question you really want to talk to Marco about and you just don't get it asked, or you want a little bit more follow-up, this will be shared on YouTube. And Marco, I believe you have some contact info on one of the slides as well, so they can follow up.
Yeah.
Right?
They can all, everybody can reach out.
Perfect. All right. So like I said, I want to talk a little bit about Helium. We've been doing some really awesome things with Helium, and so have some really exciting things coming up in 2022. Especially with new network users and partners like Techtenna. So excited to talk about this. If you aren't aware, you don't know a ton about Helium yet, very quick overview. Helium was founded in 2013 by Amir Helium and Sean Fanning. And basically we have built the world's largest decentralized wireless network. So very exciting to say the world's. It used to be the largest one in the United States, and now it's the largest in the world. And just to be able to do that, we're honored to be backed by some of the best VC firms in the world. You can see a few of them here, like Khosla Ventures, FirstMark, GV, formerly Google Ventures, Mark Benioff. Lots of different people have really helped us get to where we're at. So just want to show our gratitude and say thank you to those people who have helped. A little about the Helium network. I just updated these stats like 5 minutes before this presentation, so I hope they're up to date, but it's growing so fast, they're out of date after a few seconds usually. But
I think it needs again a new update.
I know, I need Explorer pulled up the whole time. Last I checked a few minutes ago, we were at over 523,000 hotspots, so over 500,000 hotspots active, which is incredible. Just amazing growth that we've seen. I started at Helium last spring. My first blog I wrote, I referenced how many hotspots we had. It was around 24,000. So we've grown quite a bit since then, in over 40,000 cities and 163 countries around the world. So if my memory serves me right, there are 195 countries in the world. Someone can fact check me there, but we're closing in on having hotspots in every country. So very cool. Some of the key highlights about Helium, like what are the benefits, kind of the main key differentiators. Helium has really highly competitive connectivity costs that allow initiatives to scale. So our kind of standard example is a device sending data every 5 minutes on the Helium network costs about a little over $1 per year, which is very cheap. And so that makes it very easy, especially if you have hundreds of thousands or hundreds of devices, whatever. It makes it a lot cheaper for you to kind of get those deployed. Helium's really easy to get up and running. For you to get started with IoT deployments, it's very accessible. You just pretty much any compatible off-the-shelf LoRaWAN device, you get it up and going, and you're ready to get working on Helium. And then the open source part of Helium, I think, is really cool because, as you can see here, it allows people to, and businesses and IoT users, to avoid things like vendor lock-in. And it also, with all the open source standards, you just have a lot of access to open source projects. And with more and more people using the network, more and more people, developers, hobbyists, everybody kind of sharing their projects and things, you have access to a lot of different resources and a lot of different really exciting things. So that's a really big benefit. Like I said, a few highlights from 2021. I'll cover these briefly, but you can check all this stuff out like on our website, on the Helium blog, any of those things. Like I said, the network growth has been incredible. This just from 2021, we started at 14,000 hotspots and we hit 400,000 by the end of 2021. So you can see we've added another 100,000 since then, but tremendous growth all over the world. And basically Helium is everywhere. The coverage is growing significantly day by day. We've added a lot of new users. Like I said, Marco with Techtenna is here. Lots of different users doing a lot of different really cool solutions. Check that out on our Helium ecosystem page. We're, again, adding new cards to that all the time, but it's really interesting to see all the different ways that Helium can help people out, provide different solutions. We added staking validators, came online basically in June to help solidify the network, especially with all the growth. City of San Jose became the first city to officially partner with Helium. If you haven't read that story or seen what they're doing, it's really cool. Check it out in the blog. Basically, high level overview is they've deployed Helium compatible hotspots, and the earnings from those hotspots are going to provide internet access for low income families. So it's a really tangible case of how Helium is helping people out and at the same time growing coverage for the network. We announced partnerships with Dish and FreedomFi. So Helium 5G is coming, very exciting. And that's on the 2022 looking ahead kind of milestones here. We're looking at light hotspots, adding more roaming partners. We just announced Extelia the other day. We've got Senate and Actility already, and I know there are more coming down the pipeline. 3G to Helium, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a second, but like I said, Helium 5G as well. So, and that's just a high level overview. There are a ton of different exciting updates coming for 2022. All right, like I said, real quick, just check out our ecosystem. Lots of different use cases, lots of different solutions from, asset tracking, package tracking, air quality monitoring, smart agriculture, all types of different things being enabled by the network. If you haven't started using Helium Console, like this is basically our front end, our way to create devices, send data on the network. Check it out, because our console developer team is doing a really good job taking feedback from the community and making everything more user friendly, providing more resources, all of those types of things on here to really make it simple for you to start using the network. So if you haven't checked it out, it's free to sign up, console.helium.com. Look at that. Last thing I said about 3G, this is kind of a major initiative. If you guys aren't aware, if anyone's using Cell for IoT, right now, a lot of 3G networks are sunsetting. If they haven't already, they're sunsetting in 2022. For example, AT&T's 3G is going away, I believe, February 22nd. So coming up really soon. So we've kind of done a little campaign about, why you should consider maybe switching to Helium for your IoT deployments. You can read on the Helium blog about that and follow us on social. And we've got some other stuff coming up for that, but definitely keep that in mind, especially if you're using Cell for IoT. I think that is all I had. So Marco, I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to turn it over to you, and you're in charge.
Okay, let's thank you for the intro, Jacob. Let's see if I can share my screen. It should be here. I think this is the one. Let me check. No, it's the wrong screen.
That's all right. That's all right. First webinar of 2022.
There we go.
There, perfect.
All right. So thank you, Jacob, for for the intro and my compliments to the well uh, to the Helium network. It's amazing to pass. Only last week, I believe, 500,000 of the hotspots are now already 523. And I think if you now push update, it will be 524, I guess.
Probably.
So my compliments for that. So my name is Marco Sprenkels. I'm the CEO of Techtenna, and just to what we are is just to immediately to start with, we are a sensor-centric LoRaWAN operator, and specifically not a coverage-centric. Basically, we focus on customers who have sensors and they need coverage. They are not bothered by, we have global coverage or national coverage like some national operators. They just want their one sensor to work. In general, the customers come to me and well, I guess they're trained or they're used to asking the wrong questions, because in the past, the quality of LoRaWAN coverage was kind of not so good. So they come to me and they say questions, okay, do you have coverage? How many gateways do you have? How many this, how many that, how many? And I say, I don't care. And what's the real question is that, well, actually, I want my sensor to work. And then I say, okay, that's the right question. And that's what we say, yes. Now, the question, of course, is how do we do that? Well, it needs a little bit of explanation. LoRaWAN is a wireless protocol from the LoRa Alliance, and it's based on the technology from Semtech, which is based on a license-free spectrum, like Wi-Fi. Anybody can turn on a Wi-Fi and start broadcasting an internet Wi-Fi network. It's the same with LoRaWAN. So, which means that if there's a sensor like this one, which has no coverage, we can add gateways and we can add antennas to have really good reception for that. And LoRaWAN, I'm not sure if everybody knows, just to be sure, LoRaWAN has a really long range in general. In a city environment, you still need really a lot of gateways because the signals are blocking by cars, by buildings, and whatever. So that's what Helium is really good at, in condensed areas. And that's what we have. We call it a high density network. We cover areas with really a lot of hotspots, so we can guarantee connectivity for the sensors. Now, we also roam with local partners. There are really a lot of LoRaWAN networks out there worldwide. And as soon as we become active in an area, we just call them and say, okay, great, you have a LoRaWAN network, let's work together. I mean, I think that's the way to go, to work together with all the partners. It's great to hear Helium is roaming with all these partners. Canada was the last one, I believe, or Actility in Europe, I don't know.
Yeah, Extelia from Canada was just the other day we announced.
Yeah. Congratulations with that, because now it's the whole idea is working together to make, in the end, customers be satisfied with connecting their sensor. We also, and the last part is we partner with anybody being active in that field. So what you just mentioned, you're a strong believer in the open source good. We do kind of the same thing. We work with everybody we can work together with. And I'll show you some indications what of partners we already work with. The coverage we have with LoRaWAN and working together with all these partners is something the licensed solutions like 3, 4, 5, blah, blah, G, I don't care. They can never provide such sensor-centric coverage. It's like you said, Jacob, they are killing the 3G. Well, I already know a lot of customers who have really a lot of 3G devices deployed out there who really have a problem now. Just because one guy says, okay, well, we've decided to kill the service. Okay, this is not going to happen at LoRa.
No, send them my way, Marco. Send them my way if they're.
Yeah. I'll have them call you. So, as I just said, okay, we provide coverage, and if there's no coverage, we put extra antennas and gateways out there. And just to give you an indication, it's always good to have some visuals. What you see here is some of our antennas. This is one of the on the towers, the Cellnex towers in Europe, which is, I believe, this is 120 meters high, where we have our setup with a 4G backhaul and a Wi-Fi dedicated network backhaul. This is then a local, and this one on the right, bottom right, this is one of the most simplest LoRaWAN access points we have. We have really a lot of those. And again, we work together with a lot of partners. And just to give credits to all the partners we work with, I'm not complete. So my apologies for everybody who is not on the sheet. We have a really a lot of partners. I want to express my gratitude to all these partners who helped building the network in the Netherlands to start with. So now we've talked about the network and LoRaWAN and coverage but what I've noticed in starting this company is that nobody is buying LoRaWAN. Really, nobody. I mean, you have to find the people who really understand what LoRa means. But people want to drive traffic, you have to build solutions. So, and solutions, I come from a startup environment. I used to coach a lot of startups. And one of the first questions I always ask, what kind of problem are you solving? So this was what I did with this company. I was looking, I know how to enable the services we have. We have to find partners who provide solutions to their customers, and they solve problems for their customers. So what I would now like to do is to go through some demos of some really good partners for us where we provide the LoRaWAN services. So what I'll do then is I have to switch screens. So if you bear with me 1 second. Switch, share again, and then this one. So there you go. Okay, so the first solution I'd like to share is called Hygiene Code Online, which is a service which takes care of HACCP compliance. Now, the HACCP compliance is for the food industry. It's an international code where you have to comply with just to make sure that the burger you're going to eat is prepared in a safe and clean environment. One of the elements of this code is that you have to register the temperature of your refrigerator daily. And I got to talk to this guy, and he said, okay, we provide this service, and I have this wonderful web page where people can fill in manually the temperature of their refrigerator daily. And even some people in the food industry, they are writing it down daily. And I asked it for 3 times. I say, this cannot be the real world situation. He said, yes, it was. So what we did is we said, okay, what if we get these sensors, these very simple sensors, which is just simple temperature sensor. It's very cheap ones. There are really a lot out there. And what happens if they put those in their refrigerators? And they were so enthusiastic. Now we sell them a dozen customers weekly almost. And they get a dashboard like this. Like you see, this is this sensor, and then you get the temperature of your refrigerator and your humidity, and you get a history. You get an alert if it becomes too low. For example, if there's a butcher who has like 10,000 euros or dollars in its fridge, and in the weekend when there's nobody there, the power goes down. You want to know that because the damage is really high if the meat becomes compromised. So then he gets an alert, the temperature is below 7 or something, and then you can take action. So this is really an elaborate platform. You see, this is all the elements from the hygiene code. One interesting fun, not at all fun. One important part is pest control. And what we have here, let me show you. pest control. Okay, the dashboard is, I think I have to log in again. 1 second. Okay, never mind. What it, I'll close my screen. Can everybody see this? It includes these kind of sensors, which are electronic mouse traps, that if there's a mouse coming in, you get an alert. So you get a history of the pest control, and you don't have to check the mouse traps daily. So let me see if this works. There you go. No. There you go. Well, never mind. There are a lot of screens in there which indicates, which helps to comply with the HACCP. And we try to make it digital, as much digital as possible. Okay, so this is one case. The next case is about water. What we have, one of our largest part, our vertical, is about the water business. And what we do is, for example, this one is we install water meters for real estate owners. For example, a real estate owner with 20 apartments in a building, they want to know what the water usage is in that specific apartment. And instead of writing down the number daily to see if there is a leakage, we now install these digital ones. This is the one from Axioma. There are really the largest suppliers, they all have these kind of meters. This is the one, the Honeywell one. This is what we really do. This is what we also deploy for a utility company here in the Netherlands. This is the one from Deal. See, these are all meters, and they're plugins on the current water meter. So what's done with this platform, you register, you can see every meter on this map you can see. You can add new meters where the meter is deployed, take pictures from how it's installed. And once the meter is registered and onboarded, then you can go to this platform from MainLink. It's called MainHive, where all the water meters are consolidated, and you can build reports on it and do billing on it. This is for an example of the billing screen. This is an example of their map, which is loading now. Takes too long. My internet is slow. So they have a lot of, you can configure alerts pages to when the water meter hits a specific, well, for example, the power is low or the meter is frozen. Well, a pipe burst is an important alert as well, because if you, for example, if you're a 20-story building and there's a burst in the one of the pipelines, these meters can detect it and prevent enormous damage. Okay, so this is, yeah, let's go to the next one. These were all applications for buildings. Now we have an outdoor application, which is from GeoSpark. And what they have is a parking solution. Now, what you will see here is, it's part of a PowerPoint. I didn't get the demo working on time. So this is, for example, an area where all these dots are parking meters, where you can see what the status is of this car park spot, if it's occupied or not. And what is deployed is one of these parking sensors. You see, this is the one from Enwave. This is the one from Remoticom. This is a new one. And you put them on the floor, and you then install it very simply, and you get this dashboard immediately. And then you can monitor what the status is. You can build reports. You see what the statistics are from carping, but also to to send local police to these spots where parking spaces are occupied while they shouldn't. For example, electric charging car park spots. People, this is also mostly it's an ideal parking spot because there's always space. But if you are parking there too long, you want the police to go there and make sure it becomes free again. So this is where this application is used for. Today, I can announce we closed the formal partnership with them, and we're going to deploy the city of Antwerp with our network, and they're deploying all these sensors. Let's say. So great partnership. Then we go to Track 365. Now this is a lovely application as well. Maybe because I like wine, because this is a vineyard, what you see here. This is a vineyard in the UK. And what you see here, the green dots, they're all temperature sensors on the fields, the wine fields. Now, what's very important for wine fields that the temperature cannot go below 0 or a little bit above it, because then the fruits will freeze and then there is no harvest and no wine, and then I have a problem. So what you see here, this is a good example from below. There are three, this is live data. So I can already see now that a cold front is coming from underneath, and that's what you see in this picture, is when the cold is coming up. Well, my good friend Nigel from the UK has built this solution with Track 365, and he's deploying that with really a lot of vineyards in the UK and the rest of Europe. And they really have a nice sensor platform. This is one which can include sensors which are installed in the vineyards. And actually, we've built a solution together with them, with the Track 365 ecosystem. Back to this dashboard, you can see below what the temperatures, the history is, what the trends are. If the trend is going down, then you can take precautionary measures to prevent fruit from freezing. The Track 365 also has a valve. It's all based on LoRa. Also has a valve where you can start spraying water, which will then prevent freezing of the fruits. Okay, so our next case is we're going to talk about smart building. This is a demo of what we've done with Postillon. It's a hotel, Postillon Hotel. So what we've done together with handpicked agencies and with the help of the municipality of Breda, we built a solution to build a fully interactive 3D environment, digital twin, where we deploy sensors in the rooms, and which gives alarm to the hotel manager and to the hotel guests. For example, this room has the right temperature. Humidity gives an alarm because the humidity is too low. This one is probably the one in the bathroom. What we use here is sensors from Remoticom, which I have here, I think, yeah. For example, door sensors and proximity sensors. And this is what Remoticom builds and what we've integrated in such a platform. What we do in this hotel, we put a gateway, a hotspot in the area in the hotel, just to make sure we have coverage. And for example, this cloud gate we use from Option. This is a cloud gate, which is a 4G enabled LoRaWAN gateway. Maybe it's a fun fact. I think I have a scoop here. They've sent me this. They're launching the CloudGate Helium enabled LoRaWAN hotspot. So I have one here. Thank you guys for that option. And it has the same functionality we're already using, but now it's Helium enabled. Really great. So now I'll switch back to my presentation. So this is about what we've seen now is a lot of use cases, and this is what this is going to generate traffic on the Helium network. You know, on the Helium network, the next phase besides coverage becomes usage. Well, if we're talking about usage, these are use cases. So share my screen again. There you go. There you go. What I have a strong belief in from the Helium network is that it offers perfect coverage, but what is missing is really massive consumer application. So we call it a challenge. And what we've seen is that it's still too complex. You know, I love the console from Helium, but it's not. If you buy a LoRa sensor, you can't get it to work. It's very techy. It's very difficult to have a good user interface for that. So I think we're about to see a lot of massive consumer applications. Actually, we are about to launch. I think in Q3 we are launching, and we've talked about with DY, because they have an excellent DY grant program for everybody who has a consumer application idea for applications on LoRaWAN Helium. They can help you build it. So we are looking at, for example, an in-house weather station, which is a very easy to deploy LoRaWAN application, but it's just not out there. So in order to come to these massive applications, the million of sensors we're talking about, we work together with these partners I've just shown, but also we need this massive consumer application. There's only one problem with that, because we have the big sensor coverage challenge. Now, I've told you in the beginning, the way we work, if there's no coverage, we take care of the coverage. That's what we do. That's what makes us different from a standard operator. A standard operator just say, okay, I have excellent coverage, but a user is not interested in excellent coverage. He just wants coverage for his one mousetrap, for his one temperature sensor, for his one water meter. You know, it's not about coverage, it's about sensors. So what I would really love to do is to discuss with everybody in this who is joining this webinar tonight, is to think with me about a solution. And a question I have is about, can we use the Helium network and the Helium network people, the community, to think about that problem and maybe even tackle the problem. I'll give you two examples here. What you see here is the Explorer image. Well, the first thing you can say is, well, there's excellent coverage. Yes, it's excellent coverage. But if you want to deploy a sensor in this spot, you have a problem. The other situation is this: you have you run a hotspot, you have a sensor here, and you want to deploy a sensor here, then you have a problem too. So now I would love to discuss with everybody, and I'm sure the time is too short, but hit me with an email or a Discord or whatever to keep in touch. What if we could think of a solution, if you could incentivize the people to actually solve this coverage problem? So to incentivize putting a hotspot over here or putting one over here if there's a request from the user. The user is willing to pay extra because he doesn't understand about gateways and hotspots. He doesn't care. He just wants his one water meter to work. He wants his one temperature sensor to work. They don't care about complex antenna stuff and dBs and etc. So I talked about it with a lot of people, and what could move them. And Helium has this wonderful crypto platform, of course. If we could incentivize this, asking people to solve this problem. Okay, talk to me, I would say. So thank you for joining me with this, talking about these use cases. And I hope you learned a little bit more about use cases and what's possible, and and more to come, of course. These are my contact details. Feel free to contact me on email, LinkedIn, or Discord. I actually opened the Discord today. So yeah, okay. So thank you, Jacob.
All right, thank you, Marco. Well, I'm bringing my screen back up real fast. And again, I'm going to take Marco's contact info off here, but that will be in our, this will be up on YouTube later. So if you want to reference that, you can go back and check. We got a little time for some Q&A here. And yeah, Marco, I think what you're saying about coverage is good. You know, I mean, I've shown how fast Helium's coverage is growing too. So, I mean, in those places where there may not be coverage today, there might be coverage there tomorrow. It's just the
Oh
number.
yeah, for sure. But
for sure. Yeah, growing very quickly.
This is going real quick. But
Yeah,
the customer will, maybe it's just a challenge. Huh? What if a customer has this kind of questions? Yeah.
absolutely. I had a question for you. I know there are a few in the chat here, but you guys obviously work across a lot of different verticals and have a lot of different use cases and things like that. Are there any specific like growing verticals, like trends that you see are up and coming that are kind of exciting that you are looking forward to working with, or kind of brainstorming, you know, new solutions for different verticals that maybe you didn't mention here?
What I see the fast growing market is utility market, water, gas, electricity, because it solves real problems for smart metering, and the business case is pretty easy.
Okay.
Other markets is the agricultural market, because the challenge over there is there are really a lot of closed solutions out there. We've been, some of our customers, they come to us and they say, okay, I already do some smart agriculture. And then he shows us like 5 different dashboards from 5 different closed systems. So we are a strong ambassador to open up these closed systems. One, to start using LoRaWAN, which is an open platform, preferably Helium, of course. Secondly, to use open communication, so sensors can connect to any platform, so no proprietary platforms. Well, proprietary is okay, but it must be able to switch sensors from one platform to another. But it must be agnostic. An example is, for example, the water platform I just shown from MainLink. The platform is called MainHive. It's built by the suppliers. I'm not sure if I have a visual. Am I on screen or not?
You're on screen, yes.
Yes, I'm on screen. So what you see here is the Axioma. They have actually built one of their companies. It's a large company. Is the company called MainLink. But they say, okay, this platform must be open for also the Honeywells, the Deal meters, the any other meter. So that's what I love. They share our same vision. So we love to work with them.
Okay, awesome. How about, you know, there was recent news, I think came out yesterday about Sigfox. And
yeah, you heard it.
Can you share some of your, just some thoughts on that? I know it's pretty new, but you know, what are you thinking about that news?
Yeah, well, maybe to tell about the news for this audience, Sigfox filed for bankruptcy yesterday, and they have like a 6 months time window to find a buyer in France. And Sigfox is a worldwide proprietary platform, IoT platform as well, which they own the network, the gateways, the sensors. It's all proprietary. So you cannot switch, say, okay, let's put my sensor on a different network. Just to elaborate on the technology, it used a similar technology, the same frequency as LoRaWAN does, and it's if it works, and if it's a lovely platform, but you have this problem if somebody decides to turn it off or to file for bankruptcy, you have a problem. It's kind of similar to the 3G problem you have. So what I think is that recently the LoRaWAN standard has been adopted as a real telecom standard, And what has been predicted already for some years, that the market will evolve in like two major technology standards in the field of IoT. So the one is the licensed spectrum, so narrowband IoT and LTE kind of stuff, and the other one will be LoRaWAN. So this is one of the reasons we started Techtenna with a strong focus on LoRaWAN, because when we started, everybody was talking about Sigfox, and LoRaWAN was kind of under the radar. And now we've seen the results. You know, the community is so strong with players like Helium. It's going so fast. So if you ask my personal opinion, there is no space for large-scale proprietary solutions like Sigfox. There will remain active, I think, in some kind of niches. But as a buyer, you must always be aware to have this enormous lock-in, which has advantages, because you can make good deals about exclusivity, etc. But you have a different kind of a risk profile entering in that kind of technology. I'm really too sorry to hear about Sigfox, because sorry for all the people working there, because it's not good news. There work really a lot of people. Really, a lot of people are dependent on the technology, but yeah, sad news.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. I've got a couple questions in here from the chat just about, well, there's one asking how people can look into that Helium-enabled cloud spot hotspot that you showed earlier. Is there a place to purchase that yet? Is it still, are you kind of a, first person to get one of those? It's not available yet.
Well, I'm not sure if I'm the first one, but I think I received it today, so I didn't unpack it. You see, it's really brand new.
Okay.
It's from Option, and Joost, the CEO. He sent it to me, and he said, "Okay, have fun with it." So yes, he's launching soon. I think beginning of February or March, and it is available on the market.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
Just send me an email if you want to be in contact with the company, or I'll drop a note on my LinkedIn or something. If you follow me on LinkedIn, you can find it. I'll make sure you can find it.
Gotcha. And then there were a couple questions about just pricing for you guys for Techtenna and things like that. So I assume they should contact you to talk about pricing,
Yeah,
models, things like that.
exactly. They can contact me directly, because the pricing is really depending on the use case.
Gotcha.
For example, if you have a use case with one sensor in every country in Europe, I can help you, but it's a different use case from deploying 100,000 sensors in a city of Breda, which has 200 inhabitants. You know, the pricing is a little bit dependent on the use case. So, but the point is, we can always help, and we can make your solution work. That's the guarantee I can give.
Okay. Okay. I just had one last thing from my end. Can
Sure.
you talk a little bit about, with the growth of Helium and all the new things that we have, like, are there specific things you're excited about and, to see coming up on Helium, things
Oh
you
yeah,
really love about
definitely.
Helium, basically? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I love the Helium community. I love the coverage, and I love to be part of this is historic, you know, the growth speed of a mobile network is unprecedented. It's great to be part of it. And what I've seen in the US, you have a different policy on frequencies, so you can launch a 5G people's network. I'm really jealous about you guys that you can do that. So this is one of the greatest developments I see from Helium coming next years. I've heard on the hotspot podcast, I heard, I think it was Mark talking about it a year ago, or Frank, I don't know, talking about, okay, what would happen if we could use the blockchain to deploy, use it for 3G, and it's out there now. You see the speed of Helium deploying solutions. That's impressive too. You know, I've seen a lot of startups grow and fail, and I've had really a lot of startups myself. Some successful, some don't. but the speed of this Helium platform is just it's great to follow. 5G is I've already spoken to the guys from Helium to see if okay, let me hear more about it, 5G and what's possible. So maybe we pick up the 5G movement here in Europe.
All right, love to hear it. Okay, we are about at time right now, but I want to thank Marco for coming on and talking. You can
You're welcome.
see, yeah, absolutely. And you can see some contact info if you want to get in touch and learn a little bit more about Helium as well. Follow us on GitHub, check it out. You can contribute to, like I said, it's open source. So you can make contributions, recommendations, things on GitHub. Follow us on Twitter, at Discord, great communities, a lot of good resources to, learn more, go talk about anything Helium, basically. Also, my email is there, jacob@helium.com. If you have any questions, mark@helium.com. Mark Phillips is our vice president of business development. So he's got a lot of great knowledge as well. So again, thanks everyone for coming on today. Thank you, Marco, and we'll see you next time on the Uplink.
Okay, and Jacob, thank you for having me, and see you next time.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, cheers.